Today's episode of Based Webble, we talk
Breaking
AI
news.
data centers. RAM prices are through the roof. GPUs are not getting, produced either. Everything is way too expensive. Where's it all going? We got all these issues here.
I want my computer right now.
Exactly. Tech fucking sucks now. Nvidia can suck my balls.
Man,
And
fuck
not
you,
only that,
iPhone. Man,
but there's a
fuck you,
possible
Google.
AI bubble.
Netflix, you can suck my dick.
All that stuff here on today's episode of Based Webble.
Casey Wasserman was in the Epstein files.
I think that's a good intro. So hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Based Webble.
Oh, we back, baby. We back, baby.
We're back!
We back, baby.
Back, baby. So today, we're going to talk about something. What we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about the thing that everyone always wants to talk about. AI.
Oh, man. Artificial intelligence. It's been synthesized. It's been created.
So, my dude, I have been very big into the whole AI thing for a while now, and I wanted to know, have you heard of the concept of the AI bubble?
Yes, I have. I mean, I pride myself in keeping out of the news cycle and, not defiling my mind with such petty nonsense. But it is something that I am familiar with.
So, basically, for anyone who isn't, actually, in with the whole concept of what a bubble is, the easiest example you can see in recent-ish times is the 2008 housing crisis in the US. That whole bubble.
Oh yeah, Bear Stearns, brother. They've been up to some. Wall Street was up to some devious business back then, and still is. It set the blueprint.
You can think about it almost actually, I think the earliest example of a bubble in the actual tech sector was the dot-com bubble, if you remember that one.
Yeah, pets.com. That's the famous one.
So it was a stock market bubble that developed during the late 1990s and peaked on Friday, March 10th, 2000. From what I understand, it's you have your different indexes, you got your NASDAQ and your Fortune 500s and all that kind of shit. Although the things that finance people know about,
yeah.
Right? But you can think of what makes something as a sector, right, get a lot of valuation is dependent on the amount of money that's being input and output from it. You can think about it like that, like a big old system. Mm-hmm. So what's the problem is in a lot of these, it's if there's a lot of expectation, because sometimes investments are made based on expectations of returns. It's not because whatever product you're investing in is making lots of money now, but it's because you believe it'll make lots of money. Yeah. That's kind of what happened with the dot-com bubble.
Right,
so it's internet was started to be widely used. Lots of online shopping and shit were getting, and lots of money was being input.
Yeah.
However, they had the very big issue, which is lots of money was getting put into the system, but the returns weren't there. But the expectations kept rising over and over and over again.
Right.
Until eventually you're yo, exactly, it pops. Investors are wait, I haven't got returns on this shit.
Dude.
Can I just get my money back?
Exactly, man. It's that idea of I just thought of the dirty bubble from SpongeBob. Remember,
oh yeah,
it was the arch nemesis of Mermaid Man, but it's the dirty bubble, right? It just keeps on growing and growing and growing. It's funny because it's all based upon imaginary kind of money that you could make, right? There's no difference between
it's all speculation,
gambling, but it's
pretty much
you're just dropping fucking you're hedging your bets on Kalshi, bro. It's the same shit.
Yeah, and when it comes to the AI space, there's been a lot of that same sort of talk about all these different companies we're talking about. We got the OpenAIs, we got we got the guys over at DeepSeek, we got the Geminis with Google side. You get a Copilot on Microsoft side, which is really just the same thing as ChatGPT, was just extra tint.
Yeah.
And all this kind of stuff. So it really started to get into people's minds, and people were actually celebrating this whole thing going on.
Ended up having some kind of AI into it. You know, Google's got Gemini, freaking even like websites like Amazon. What Amazon has their own, right? Is it like another woman's name,
you know, like,
or is it like some are like they're either like Portland, Oregon lesbian names, or like some normal ass like white guy name like Eric, you know.
You talking about Alexa, bro? You talking about Alexa, bro?
Cortana is one of them. I think that's like the Windows one, but that's also like a Halo thing.
Oh,
right. So I don't know. It's maybe that's like a Silicon Valley geek, you know, nod to the greats. But
they probably literally got it from Halo.
Yeah.
But the thing with that is like, there's a news story that's been going around. I mean, everyone's seen the headline, like everyone knows what this is already.
Mm-hmm.
But it's basically OpenAI could reportedly run out of cash by mid 2027.
Mm-hmm.
Analysts paint grim picture after examining the company's finances. It's basically just this whole idea that OpenAI generally has been just burning through a ton of cash.
Well, of course.
So
everyone's searching everything on it all the time. There's also the like the meme about like the power centers that need to be created just because people are making AI memes and shit.
Oh, actually, dude, like I actually saw this today. Like this is by Ride the News on Instagram. Basically, you have the AI data center project. There are a bunch of them going on. I think there's one in Virginia going on right now. But the headline reads, how can a single project that costs over $5 billion to build can only create a few dozen jobs? So there's been a whole data center boom. So there's a stretch of data centers about 35 miles west of DC. There's even some that are going on in Virginia. There's also like a whole Silicon Valley situation. Yeah. And it's to the point that even if you remember, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, that even the current president, Trump, made a statement basically saying that he was going to try and get AI data centers to have to pay for the infrastructure needed for their energy costs. Because what's going on now is in a lot, especially small towns, the energy grid of what's needed to power these data centers is just being overclocked the entire time. So people's light bills are actually going higher, and they're not using more power. It's because of data centers.
Yeah, that reminds me of like some old west type bullshit where they've controlled the entire water system. You know, it's like all of a sudden the village has got no water left because the oil tycoon, Mr. Big Old Baddie, you know, like he looks like the fat like version of the Monopoly man, just walks in, right? You know, yeah, dude, it's same shit. Same shit, different time, you know.
I mean, like, and I'm excited because since you're not in the news cycle, I can just spam you with these.
Oh my goodness, yeah. That's what I really enjoy. My chamber of ignorance. It's enough. It's permeable enough for general concepts, you know, to come in. So the idea of AI, hey, I know what that is. AI, the entire thing about a bubble, I know what that is. I could imagine.
For example, you can see the AI data center investment in the U.S. That's also like a number that like kind of freaks people out, which is AI data centers investments in the U.S. are experiencing an unprecedented surge, with major tech firms investing hundreds of billions, often constituting over 1% of the U.S. GDP between 2025 and 2026. So basically, most of these projects of implementing these AI data centers are just skyrocketed in costs. They usually start out at about $5 billion, but some get over $10 billion depending on the actual scale of it.
God damn. That is wild.
So, like, it is, and the biggest ones are like the major projects is like Amazon is investing up to $50 billion in starting in 2026. Anthropic is launching a $50 billion AI infrastructure project in 2026 as well, in both in New York and in Texas. And Microsoft, you know, a little bit more let's say they haven't gone like
Yeah.
wild with this. They're
Yeah.
only investing a very modest $7 billion to the creation of a AI data center in Wisconsin.
That's well, I mean, it's hilarious. What if the reason was like Bill Gates? he's reeling from all the Epstein shit. You know, he doesn't have any more time or energy to deal with any other things AI related. The heat is on him, bro. Little St. James is calling.
Oh man, but it's like it's like Bill's got it rough this year. Let me tell you that.
I mean, that's hilarious. It is hilarious to see all this shit come to light. That's the one thing that hasn't escaped my self-imposed, living under a rock mentality. The Epstein shit, I've been following up with that shit. That to a T, dude. Oh my goodness.
Have you seen this? There's if someone's not aware, I found out about this from a friend of mine. I thought it was fucking cool. Do you know what Jmail is?
Jmail? Let me guess. Is that email for Jews?
Check this out. This is Jmail.
Jmail.
Basically, somebody recreated Jeffrey Epstein's email list.
Oh my goodness!
Completely. So it's his Gmail account.
What? Yeah.
And you could check
vacation.
all of his emails, and you can also have like this people tab, so you can see every single time that big ol' Epstein talked to
genius.
Jeremy
What the
Rubin,
hell?
Sarah Kellen. There's even like with Musk, and a lot of these are kind of funny.
Dude, we got to do a deep dive on this, man.
So all I'm saying is, there's the URL if anyone wants to check it out. But Jmail.
Yeah, no, this is like a Bites
Jmail.
episode for sure.
All I'm gonna say is I'm not gonna explain how I acquired this information.
Yeah.
Okay. However, if you go on Wattpad right now, there is a very large amount of Jeffrey Epstein x Elon Musk like fanfic. There's a lot
of course
of it.
there is, dude. Of course there is.
There's a lot.
Oh
of
my
it.
god.
And they even like paraphrase the emails. It's great. It's fantastic.
That's my that's how we beat the oligarchs, man. That's how we beat the oligarchs. We just make hentai versions of them, the pregnant.
All we need is homoerotic fan fiction.
Vor fantasy shit.
There's even one for fucking Maduro. You know, he got captured like a couple
in his Nike tech, bro.
A month back.
In his Nike tech.
Yeah, in his fucking Nike tech. Well, there's a lot of fanfic now of like Maduro x Trump and Maduro x Elon Musk.
Oh my god.
The's one that's so fucking funny.
He's kept in the same prison as Diddy, bro, and Luigi Mangione, bro. It's
Wait, the same one as Luigi as well?
Yeah, I think it's Luigi's there, Diddy is there. Actually, have you seen the picture? There a lot of people, me included, we call it Arkham Asylum. You know, like from Batman, because it's where all the villains are, bro. The super villains.
Wait, what? I need to, because I've seen the AI edited ones. I've seen like there is a like concerning amount of like Instagram reels and even stuff on TikTok that the joke is basically just Diddying Maduro. Like that's the whole joke.
Yeah. Well, Children of Khan did that video too. It's a process. I guess he was held at the same place. I don't know if he's there permanently anymore, but at a point.
Oh yeah,
Ghislaine Maxwell was there.
I saw this image.
Yeah. Freaking Martin Shkreli was there.
Martin Shkreli, dude.
El Chapo too, bro. And R. Kelly. Oh my God, yes, R. Kelly. Oh, Freakmaster himself, bro.
But my body.
Hold on, it's inmates. I want to find this one.
My body.
Inmates held at MTC.
Have you seen that video? I'll send that to you later.
Hold on. This is the. Okay, now I can show this one. So this is what Justin's been talking about, which is about like the inmates held at MDC Brooklyn, and it's fucking Nicolas Maduro, Luigi Mangione, Sean Combs, Diddy Diddy, R. Kelly, Sam Bankman, El Chapo Guzman, Michael Cohen, Ghislaine Maxwell, Martin Shkreli, and Al Sharpton.
It's Arkham Asylum.
I mean,
That's what it says. Arkham Asylum from Maduro to Diddy.
It's literally Arkham Asylum.
This is from the Times of India, bro. Let's go.
Like this.
We have Times of India. We have Hindustan Times.
We only use the the best places to find our information. Arkham Asylum from Maduro to Diddy.
Why MDC Brooklyn's inmate roster reads like a Batman gallery.
And what I was talking about earlier is if you look for pictures of Maduro and Diddy, you just see shit like this. It's just a lot of like homoerotic,
like prison
there's
life
so
type
much of
shit.
it. I mean, I understand that people don't like Maduro, okay, and like fucking Nike Tech. But I'm like, what has to go through your mind? Which is like, I really want to AI generate a picture of a man fucking another man.
The diddler, bro. That's hilarious.
The fucking baby oil.
That's crazy, dude. That is crazy. I mean, I don't know. Life has a weird way of working itself out, in irony, in seeing that. And I don't know. Is there any other place that you would want him to be? That's my question to you.
I mean, to be fair, I think I'm satisfied with how this is turning. But also, it's like, this is whole, like, by the way, Venezuela episode in the works. That's coming one of these days, okay?
Yeah.
But it's weird to see. It's like, so much stuff is going on now. It's like, I've seen like some of these conspiracy theories, which is like, no, like a lot of weird shit is going on because the people in power don't want you to open your eyes and see the truth. But it's also like, have we ever had a news cycle as, I'm not even gonna say divisive, as have we had a news cycle as fucking random as the one we're having now? It's like, you wake up on a Monday, you see fucking Maduro getting captured. Yeah. Then you see like Trump talking about him using like the fucking discombobulator to take out Venezuelan guards. Then you get the Diddy shit. Then you got the Luigi shit. Then you got fucking the Epstein file drop like for the 7th time. Yeah. It's like, man,
that's
just information overload.
I know. I think it's up to each and every one of us to figure out where we kind of draw the line, with that. Because it gets too much. It gets too much, man. And I think that's one of the most important things that I learned in recent years is just what to really care about,
Like really, just like you gotta like choose your battles, because it's like there's so much information you could be like into, but it's like, I don't know. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's like, do you really think you can, I guess, understand and keep track of all this different info? I don't think I can.
And have like a competent worldview without being freaking rage baited by yourself all the time,
Right, exactly. But anyway, yeah. So what's going on with like the AI shit? The problem is, and here's the main thing, I don't know if you've seen like at least online discourse, but a lot of people are actually very, very happy about the fact that some of these AI companies have said that they're burning through way more money than they're receiving. Yeah. Okay. There's even this one news article which I was gonna show you, which was exactly so. Apparently, OpenAI could reportedly run out of cash by mid-2027.
Oh wow.
And they have a really grim picture as far as their finances. Right. Because the amount of money they're burning is just astronomically high. So, for some quick stats, according to an external report last year, OpenAI was projected to burn through $8 billion in 2025. And that rose over to $40 billion, just burning through it up to 2028.
Yeah, damn. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money, man.
And the company itself, on their own projections, okay, they say that they don't expect to make a profit by at least 2030.
Oh, that's almost 2 whole years of just, well, fuck, we have no money, that they're not accounting for.
And they've had no money for as long as I can remember.
They have yet to turn a profit, so they've just been a black hole, right? For the past few years.
Exactly. Because OpenAI was... ChatGPT, as disruptive as it was, it first came out, I believe it was late 2022. And even then, they were just burning through cash. Yeah. And even with, consumer products and even with like using the API, they're not making the money back. Right. To the point that if you haven't seen it, ChatGPT even said that they was gonna start like showing ads in people's feed when they're using ChatGPT because they have to make money somehow.
That's that will be very unpopular with everybody who uses it.
It already is. It already is. So basically, the projects that are related to OpenAI, as far as AI data centers, they have apparently are thinking of spending close to $1.4 trillion with the roadmap they currently got going on.
That's wild. At this point, that's like they've used way more money than probably most countries on Earth. Right, their individual government spending.
And exactly, and even like external analysts are like, even if we have like the most optimistic outlook possible on their finances, there is at least an there's an $800 billion just black hole in the middle of the industry. Like it is bad.
Who's going to be taking? Who takes responsibility for that? Who takes responsibility for that?
That is a very good question.
Whose fault is that?
I mean, really, it's just the movement of the money. Because check this one out, for example. Media Raw. So it's a U.S. data center investment from 2014 up to 2025. So you don't gotta look very far to see how much money is being used yearly. And then we get 2022. There's been a rise before that, but then we get all the way up to 2024 and 2025, where we are in each individual year going up to over $20 billion and now crossing over $40 billion in 2025. And are expected the numbers will... Yeah?
Wait a minute, bruh. A typical data center uses approximately 27 metric tons of copper. Copper. Ludovic, copper, Ludovic, copper, Ludovic, copper, Ludovic, Epstein, copper, Epstein, Ludovic, copper, Epstein.
Bro, everything's connected.
Epstein,
Holy
Epstein,
shit.
AI, Epstein, OpenAI, Epstein. Oh, yo, bro, the connection, bro. That's crazy.
the connection, bro.
No, hell no. We found the other arm of the octopus. I am not depressed. I am not depressed. I am not depressed.
Here's the actual billions of dollars adjusted per annual rate. So we can go and see how these are adjusted per month and just look at how the numbers just continually rise. And we already talked about there are $50 billion investments already planned from one individual company in 2026. So you can expect to maybe even double that by next year.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, what the fuck am I talking about? This year. But that's not the only thing of like the money moving masses, right?
Yeah.
But also... we have the actual, why do people say there's possibly a bubble going on? Well, there's this very famous picture that's always like going around. I'm trying to find the fucking thing. Let's analyze here for a sec.
Yeah.
We're trying to find investment hell here, okay? So what's going on? We have the main players. We already talked about a few of them. We got OpenAI, we got Microsoft, we also have NVIDIA, and among others, okay? So, what is going on here? Why is there a supposed bubble? So, OpenAI has been in the red historically, okay?
Yeah.
Year across year across year. And every single time it has found some sort of investor, what they call angel investors, to try and get them out of the hole. Usually this has been a combination of either NVIDIA or Microsoft. So, here's the thing. So, for example, we have NVIDIA investments, which is, for example, we should invest up to $100 billion in OpenAI. Okay. Then Microsoft also invested in OpenAI.
Yeah.
Then AMD also invested in OpenAI, specifically with a big mention on the AI data center part.
Yeah.
And what you're seeing here and why this is called a bubble is we're seeing gigantic amounts of money of $300 billion, $100 billion, $500 billion, $3.9 trillion, and the acquisition of OpenAI by Microsoft.
Yeah.
But you know what the funny part is? You know what the actual funny part is?
Huh.
The net gain has pretty much remained very close to zero this whole time.
So no money was made, really, by any of the companies involved.
Imagine imagine you have a fucking taco truck.
Yeah.
Okay. But your tacos fucking suck.
Right.
So nobody wants to buy your tacos.
Right.
But you also have another business where you sell burgers.
Okay.
So you earn that so much money in the burger side of things, where you get all of the things that you gain from the burger side of things and invest them back into the tacos. So technically, the tacos are net zero. You're still making like a bajillion tacos, not selling any of them.
Right. Right.
But you're kept afloat because there's this other side of the business that is still like providing me money.
And you're just wondering
that's
why
what's going
Burger
on.
Man cares about taco shit so much. You know, you're like, what the fuck? What? Nobody's buying this shit. You know. Why are you giving me money?
Yeah, and actually, when that whole conversation started going on about the potentially OpenAI closing, if you see online, obviously there are some places that are a lot more biased than others. Like if you check Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, a lot of people were really happy about that news. Okay, that OpenAI was going under.
Right.
And that's the big thing, which is AI as let's call it as a tech sector. Okay. Has had this huge issue where it's they're getting a lot of money, they're making a lot of tools, but the value just isn't there. For most people, they're not really going to find a clear use for it. Because honestly, what do people actually use AI for? Mostly it's a lot of people just telling it their life advice, asking for life advice, talking it's a friend. But all these the bigger instances of AI use, automated workflows. Oh, we got all this information that's showing from one center to one center, or all these connections. You, for example, you don't work in tech. Would you care about any of that shit?
Hell no. Dude, the only thing I use ChatGPT for, and I think it's only been a few months since I've been using it, is to scope out new fishing spots, dude. Literally that. And then search up what the conditions are and the best ways to get there. That's it.
Exactly. And here's one other thing. So for example, this is from TechCrunch. I will read it verbatim.
Okay.
So AI's impact on social media feeds has not gone unnoticed by one of America's top dictionaries. Amidst the onslaught of content that has swept the web over the past 12 months, this was back in December 2025, Merriam-Webster announced on Sunday that the word of the year for 2025 is slop.
Slop content.
For AI slop. Slop content, and that's most related to the AI slop, which is being bombarded into people's feeds.
It's what belongs to the hogs, bro. Slop.
To the point that even Microsoft CEO Nadella, I think that's how you say his last name. Well, anyway, he basically very nicely tried to ask people can you not call things AI slop? It kind of hurts the business if you would please stop using that word. So he said, he has a personal blog, and I'm gonna show this exactly what he wrote. So this is his personal blog, and basically, right, it's his blog. So here, basically what he tries to say is, I'm going to read this part verbatim, is a new concept that evolves bicycles for the mind, such that we always think of AI as a scaffolding for human potential versus a substitute. What matters is not the power of any given model, but how people choose to apply it to achieve their goals. We need to get beyond the arguments of slop versus sophistication and develop a new equilibrium in terms of our theory of the mind that accounts for humans being equipped with these new cognitive amplifier tools as we relate to each other. This is the product design question we need to debate and answer. And now, that is a very nice way to put it. The problem with that is, in some fields, like in tech, sure, you can use AI as an amplifier of the mind. But honestly, if you're a truck driver, for example, what the fuck do you want AI for? You don't need that. Yeah, man. You don't need to be paying $20 a month for fucking ChatGPT Premium. You're not gonna need that shit.
Right. And it's all based upon, his entire thing is based upon the assumption that everybody is willing to subscribe, to use AI in such a central manner, to their life, which I don't think so. Like, I'm living proof. Truck driver Joe is living proof. Like, it's not essential, It's like, I don't know how to drill it through your heads. And it's just this weird kind of like obsession that I think I see, like, especially the tech field with. It's this exception of this weird obsession with like infinite progress,
Right.
And it just doesn't make sense to me. It's one of those things where you kind of blindly just lead towards this idea, this vague idea of like some kind of utopian situation that we can save humanity with the power of technology. And it's so ingrained in the culture where kind of people think in that type of way, like even in, I would say, the way that like entrepreneurship is now, and like the focus of it. Because back in the day, I would say like maybe in like the pre-90s, like the idea of salesmanship, right? When if you thought of a salesman, you would either think some kind of like type A Wall Street kind of hoity-toity yuppie that works in Manhattan at the very high scale end of things. But at the very bottom kind of grassroots human level, a salesman was the fucking guy that sold cars out of the used dealership in your neighborhood, right? But that had overall like evolved now, where like since the 90s and like I would say like the tech boom and like the .com bubble and everything that happened, the nerds, it was the revenge of the nerds, man. They became part of the culture, right? It's the freaking Poindexters that were like doing computer science and shit like that. But this idea of like, we are going to revolutionize the blah blah blah, zibba-dabba zooba-dabba, every single pitch, every single service or product that was created out of that was with this idea of, we are going to completely change the way human beings or whatever, right? So it's like from this weird grandiose vague kind of transhumanistic angle that you're coming from, and I don't know, I think now people are kind of getting tired of it, or we have been kind of tired of it. And I don't know, where do you think this kind of attitude will be? Where do you think it'll go? Do you think people are going to be more cautious of it, or just learn nothing and steamroll ahead?
I think the best way to answer that is to continue reading what Merriam-Webster said. So hear this. So so we added the word of the year 2025 is slop, okay? And here the actual definition they use. The dictionary defines the term as digital content of low quality that is produced usually in quantity by means of artificial intelligence. And then it continues, like slime, sludge, and muck. Slop has the wet sound of something you don't want to touch. Slop oozes into everything, the dictionary writes. Adding that, in an age of AI anxiety, it is a term designed to communicate a tone that's less fearful but mocking, or more mocking of the technology. And then Merriam-Webster's president, Greg Barlow, says it's such an illustrative word. Yeah. It's part of a transformative technology AI, and it's something that people have found fascinating, annoying, and a little bit ridiculous. So I think that's what most people feel about it. Because honestly, look, to be devil's advocate here, okay? There are a lot of really cool advances in AI when it comes to not just like the typical things that people think of like self-driving, whatever, but even when it comes to medicine, right? Recreation of DNA sequencing. Right. I've seen that, for example. I've seen it try and be used, for example, for transportation issues for people that have, reduced mobility. There are a lot of cool applications, at least from a business perspective. There has not been, to my understanding, a single like really important instance of this technology being applied and having all of the promises of productivity
Yeah.
and you can efficiency and spend less money and all this stuff.
Right.
I haven't seen it properly work.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Like be fruitful.
And it's
So at the end of the day, it's like,
right.
oh,
It's an
man.
imbalance of also like people that I know that use this stuff. There's no other like most people that I know, and I know it's a horrible sample to judge by, but not only people that I know, but people I see on the street. The majority of people aren't like trying to like make AI this thing that's part of their lives. Like that's the same reason why I think Google Glass failed, or a lot of like the VR like stuff, like even though that's been around for a while, like that's not mainstream really, I would say.
But I would say that there is one caveat there, which is, I'm not sure if it's a generational issue or it's more just a being tech savvy, okay?
Yeah.
But what I have seen is, especially in, for example, boomers, I have seen that there is this sort of more dependence on AI and technologies than for some younger people.
Right.
Now, I can talk about like personal instances. Like I talked to my dad about this, and AI is cool for some stuff.
Yeah.
Like if you have like a specific question, then sure, it's good for that. But sometimes we'll be talking about something and we'll talk about like, what year was the first Home Alone released? And he'll like pull up Gemini and I'm like, bro, just Google it.
Yeah. IMDb.
But he says,
There's an app
but
for
it's
that.
fast. Yeah, but he says, but it's faster. And it's like, it's really not.
Yeah.
The same time that you spend typing the thing on the app, you can just go
Yeah,
on Google.
yeah.
And it's not to say that using Google is better, because they also have like their AI assistant.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
more
yeah.
like, you have to understand that it is very useful for some context, I tell them, but you don't need to ask AI like for, I don't know, man, like how to cook fucking chicken breasts, like you can just go get a YouTube video for that shit. And usually when you see the AI like explanation of how to do these things, it's usually fucking wrong. It's still wrong to this day, despite the $500 billion.
One of my good friends, it's so funny. Ever since college, he's been using he does voice like commands for like Google, I guess. So whenever he had to like, we're talking about something and we had to search it up, he'd always go like, "Hey Google," or like set like the calendar and stuff. Like he'd do that. I made fun of him so much for that. And like one of the memes that I came up with was like I'm like, dude, you treat Google like Iron Man treats Jarvis, man. Like it's fucking crazy. You're walking around and it's like, "Hey Google, target Israel." That's the type of shit that he'd be doing,
And that's the thing. It's like that like over-reliance on technology.
Yeah.
And actually, are you curious? Why do you think the bubble exists? If you are curious, the reason why the speculation exists is because, I'm going to say AI as a general term. I know that this whole time, if anyone's like being real technical at hearing this, I know that we're not really talking about AI per se. We could be more specific, talking about LLMs like ChatGPT, all that shit. But just broadly speaking about the AI tech sector, okay? The proposed goal that they always mention is the idea of AGI, which is an artificial general intelligence, which is literally the end point of this whole thing, is creating Jarvis. Like ideally, you could have a chatbot. It's like, Jarvis, make me some chicken. Jarvis, take my daughter to ballet class.
Yeah.
Jarvis, nuke France, please. Like that's the kind of thing. That's what they want to get towards, but we haven't really. There have been advancements, but as far as inching closer to AGI specifically, from my understanding, all the tests they've done, because there are like the Turing tests and all these kinds of things that are basically tests done in tech to find how good a model is, not only at reasoning, but it is at self-reasoning. Basically, if it's an actual AI, an intelligence that self-operates. And to my understanding, no AI from any company has come even close to clearing that scale.
I mean, that's funny because we're putting certain expectations on this AI that are even a little bit too high for some human beings. Because like there's certain people that I see that live their life and I'm like, there is no way that you reason anything in your fucking life. It's like you live chiefly from feelings, and like not just any feelings, like literally just sensations, It's like it's you live from sensation to sensation. And I don't know. It's funny that we put such stringent expectations on these like AIs to do that, and I'm like, it's funny. Like, what? Who are we? Who are we as these freaking dumbass apes to even talk about intelligence?
Right, and like the main thing for me is like it's this whole idea that it's not just a tech thing. It's just the over-engineering of a solution. There are a lot of solutions on the market that just they solve a problem that really isn't there. I'll give you an example. I think at one time I saw like a toaster that had a screen on it. You could like watch YouTube on your toaster.
Yeah, no, I was at a Home Depot like a few years ago, and I saw one of those. It was the same thing, a fridge that has like a touchscreen TV on it, and I was just watching YouTube inside of the Home Depot, like on this fridge, and I was thinking, this is this is the dumbest thing I've ever done in my entire life.
But that's what I'm saying, dude. It's like, how often do you just stand in front of your fridge and not do anything? Or just standing there, just staring at it.
And not with the fridge door closed, you know? Like, I the only time I'm sitting in front of the fridge and staring at it is I'm at least opening it to see what I want to freaking eat.
That's what I mean. Because you know what? Like, that's the thing. My phone is right there. You can have a phone stand. It costs like $2. You can just put your phone up and just watch YouTube while you cook.
Yeah.
You don't need the fridge, man. And the same thing with like the AI washing machine and like the whole like thing with the AI washing machine. This was years back.
Yeah.
It was like, bro, the AI washing machine will use artificial intelligence to figure out the perfect like wash cycle for your clothes. And I was like, hold on. Who is this person who needs to like optimize the efficiency of his washing machine?
And on top of that,
what do you mean?
Like, how does it tell and like what kind of clothes that is in there? You know, like is there all kinds of like sensors for all that, or do you yourself have to input all of that information inside the washing machine before it starts washing?
Look, I have no idea. It would be kind of funny and also kind of stupid. There was like a sensor inside, which all it told you was like how stinky your clothes were. It's like, oh, this smells like ball sweat. Yeah. You got to put that in another cycle, man.
It's an extremely hot water wash for these soiled ass chonies. Damn, it goes. So damn, like, you shit your pants again, huh? This week, and you're sitting there being roasted by your own washing machine.
But you know what? If that was what AGI really was, I would maybe pay for just like an AI that just like checks out your life, right? But he like berates you when you do things wrong. It's like a fucking Roomba cleans your floor, and he's like, "You dirty ass motherfucker! I just found a crusted sock."
It's just a robot, like just a old kung fu master, but like a Roomba that has that personality built into it. Oh, it's time to wake up. You're lazy. You need to go out and do 10 million push-ups, 10,000 sit-ups. You know, I don't know.
It's like that kind of thing. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's like we've gotten to this point where we are over-engineering the solution for problems that aren't really problems in the first place.
Yeah.
And that, to me, and I'm no expert. I know the basics. I'm no expert here. But I can say this. If we keep on going how we're going, things aren't going to paint well for the AI industry. Because, one more thing that I almost forgot to mention is, you know what are the main reasons why people are like kind of happy about like OpenAI possibly closing? And I say possibly because everyone's like, oh, they're gonna go bankrupt, whatever the fuck. That's not how it's gonna go. Another investor's gonna show up and give them the money they need. They'll operate for another year until the bubble actually bursts, or they make some like real dough. One or the other. Okay, so if anyone's out there being like, oh yeah, fucking OpenAI is gonna like get out of here, no, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah. I'm guessing the other people are probably just like, you know, your typical eat the rich, performative, you know, like politically, their favorite hobby is politics type people.
I mean, there are lots of those. I will not lie to you. Like, I've been on Twitter. Like, it's harsh. It's harsh out there. But what I will say though is there are some real reasons for this. So, for example, if you're into computers at all, you're a fucking gamer, right? Everyone knows that like PC building as a hobby has always been expensive, okay? But you could have a pretty decent build for like $800, okay?
Yeah.
But for example, RAM prices have skyrocketed in price because, and this is like, for example, a lot of the like main manufacturers of these, like RAM, for example, Crucial's a big one. Crucial's been making RAM for forever. Like I have some Crucial RAM like right here in my PC, and they basically said like, yo, we're not going to sell any more consumer grade RAM because they ended up making a lot more cash by selling directly to AI data centers.
Oh, wow.
So now they have like these gigantic year-long contracts with people like Nvidia, whatever the fuck, and directly sell the RAM to them and not consumers.
Wow.
I believe it's either this year or next year. I'm going to look for the actual news so I'm not like misciting anything.
Yeah.
But Nvidia, which are the main producers of consumer grade graphics card in the world, mind you, have basically said like, yo, bro, you know what? We're gonna cut fucking, manufacturing of consumer grade graphics card by like 40%.
Wow.
Like starting today, because we don't have enough GPUs and we have to actually sell them to the same AI data center usage.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Wow.
And another big one is they're actually limiting the production of GPUs right now. Do you know why?
Why?
Because of the RAM shortage, because they actually need RAM. So it's like this whole circle of people that like PCs getting fucked over and over again. RAM prices are experiencing a severe historic surge with projections indicating an 80 to 90% price increase in early 2026.
Brutal.
These are driven by the intense demand for high-capacity DDR5 in AI servers and data centers. And this shortage is causing consumer prices to soar for both DDR5 and DDR4, with some kits doubling or tripling in cost. Like, we are seeing some kits for DDR5 RAM that were back in early 2025 close to $100-something, and now they're up to $350.
Rip, dude, I'm a Mac user, so I don't know how to sympathize with you. I'm trying my best, but because this absolutely has no effect on me. But yeah.
For now, before the new Mac series comes out.
They don't, I mean, I've subscribed to this fate of like enshittification. I can't even change, how much RAM I have after the fact, after I buy the laptop. So, I'm kind of, it is what it is. I can't do with that shit. I can't customize in the first place. So that's insane. How this is something not like a niche consumer product. Like this is something that is like been a big economy in its own right for years, for decades, and then all of a sudden, boom.
And we haven't seen this right now, but it's like if you remember correctly, during the pandemic, right, a couple of years back, there was also a hike in price, and actually, like some retailers tried to use the pandemic as a way to make more cash, which is kind of gross. But the price for laptops was like super high. Like I have this one like laptop that came with like it was like 4 gigs of RAM. It was like a like one of the old series like Intel CPUs. Yeah. It was like it's not a good PC. Okay, I bought it at the height of pandemic because I had like a laptop from like 2011, so I couldn't do stuff for uni. Yeah. So I bought this fucking thing for like almost $600. It fucking sucks. And if you look for the same exact laptop now, even better, you'll find them for like $350.
Wow.
$400.
Wow.
So that was back with pandemic prices, and that same thing. Well, I haven't seen it happen yet.
Yeah.
It's maybe going to happen because if GPUs are more expensive, RAM is more expensive, general computing is more expensive, guess what? You have to be happy with your shitty laptop from like 2 gens ago for $800.
Dude, I have this other computer. I mean, I do have a desktop like PC, but I got this off of Facebook Marketplace, and it's like a model from like 2013, so it's a pretty old, tower. But I got it off of Facebook Marketplace from this guy for $50, and I got it solely just so I can get footage off of this, off the tapes, off of this bad boy right here.
Wait, so you can only get that off of Windows PC?
Yeah, because in the back, I had to install a like FireWire card. So this old camcorder uses an old, I guess like it's an Apple like cable, FireWire cable, to offload the audio-visual signal. But it's outdated. Like there's no computers that really have that port. And I actually, on top of like what you were talking about with pricing, same thing happened with the FireWire cables and adapters from like 15, 20 years ago. Like a single adapter that I would need in order to adapt like a USB cable, to something that can connect to, modern computers, to a FireWire is, on eBay it would cost like $150. It's for this tiny little adapter. So there's like different ways that people try to
the fucking dongle, just the dongle. I've been noticing this because there's been like this really big, I guess, reusage of like old tech. Yeah. So I discovered, because actually I have a couple friends that sell on Facebook Marketplace, and this one guy told me that he was selling CDs, and I was like, who the fuck buys, like, maybe I'm just stupid, but who the fuck buys CDs? I've never seen, like, I haven't seen like physically like a CD in my house in the last like 10 years. And I find out there is a really big market for people that like to buy CDs. Interesting. I didn't know that shit.
Interesting. So like just random like CDs that he would burn himself, or just like
CDs he would burn himself. Like he will just sell like a burned CD of like, fucking Elvis songs, and people will buy that shit for like $15. Wow. I did not know that.
Actually, it's very interesting. One thing that I do always use, and then like I've been using for a long time, has been external external disc reader for like CDs, like DVDs, all that kind of stuff, which if you've noticed in like modern day like laptops, at least with like the Macs and stuff, they don't have disc readers.
Yeah, it's like I think that you can even connect that to like the whole like why people are so pissed off about like this, all the AI stuff, the AI data centers, and like it reminds me of this whole idea, which is just like the depreciation of tech, basically, or like planned obsolescence. I believe was the whole term, which is that everyone's bought like I've seen one of those like old fridges, like your grandma's fridge that is older than you, right. And that thing was just going strong for the last 40 years.
And it's like one of those, and it's still one of those older ones that are like made out of like metal too. Like that shit is going to be there probably after your lifetime. The way that it's built and the way it's constructed. Right.
But you buy one of these like newer fridges that you can like play fucking Dark Souls on. Well, that shit's gonna last like 40 years.
Yeah, that's crazy, because I like, funny enough, the camera that I'm using, this right here, it's my old phone. It's the iPhone 11, and it's like right around the time where I had to replace it. Like it just started bugging out of nowhere, right? Like even now, I can't really type on it or anything. Because the keyboard is weird. So the only thing I could really use it for is the camera. But with something like the camcorder, this is like a 20-year-old camcorder, and it still works perfectly.
So it is, man. Yeah. So I think that all this kind of connects to, we have like the AI anxiety stuff, we have all the slop content, so basically it's like, I would try and summarize all this stuff we've talked about as sort of like, people are feeling like the tech sector is kind of fucking them over, and it has been fucking them over for a while now. So now it's like, I think it's very telling that you had a friend of yours tell you like, hey, you know how to burn CDs? Because people are actually trying to get back to old tech and realizing that, you know what? Bless you.
Thank you. I'm still recovering.
Gotcha. But yeah, it's like that whole thing, which is like, old tech was different, and maybe we should stop trying to over-engineer solutions and just try to fix problems the old-fashioned way with a 50-year-old fridge that still keeps on trucking.
Right. Or have stuff that's actually useful. I think that's what it is. Like, and that's a very like fine balance where you don't really have to, like, the key is not to change your life too much, too drastically, all at once. You know, it's like little things, focusing on small things and small changes that are almost innocuous, right? It's like you don't even notice, but over time they have like a better benefit. And that could be like stuff with like, you know, I think a lot of it I think is like design rather than like purely just like something that has a bunch of functions, right? Like just a very smooth, practical design for something can be just as like impactful or probably more impactful, with how people just cumulatively, I guess, just end up having these certain problems solved.
Yeah, and one last little stat to end off this conversation is, remember how I mentioned that the whole like bubble, like what's going on, if there is any profit?
Yeah.
Well, recent MIT study that was done back in 2025 actually said that out of a big census of companies that implemented AI at scale, like massively, about 95% of the organizations that were studied reported that they actually got zero returns on their AI investments.
Damn, that's tough, bro.
So, yeah.
That is tough. Pack it up, go home.
It's pretty bad.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's one of the things that's probably underreported is how much money was lost, right? Like how much. I'm pretty sure it wasn't just zero. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of negative in there.
There are some negative
in the data points that they gathered.
Businesses, investors are pissed off. Yeah. Consumers are pissed off. Sam Altman's, well, he's kind of happy, but most people are pretty pissed off. So, what will this mean? Will people actually be able to get like a rest from all this AI data center news? Will the electrical grid ever get back to the way it was? Will we need more power plants? Will this keep on going? Will the bubble burst in the coming years? I have no information to answer any of those questions. What I can say though is you're kind of a dumbass if you buy a toaster with a screen on it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, and don't build PCs for now. maybe find some other hobby.
If you were trying to get like a 4090, I'd say like hold off on that. You'll be fine. Yeah. Just hold off for till 2 years. Yeah, you'll be fine.
I need to go and freaking sell these sticks of RAM that I got.